Friends, in this world there is hardly anyone who has not heard the name Bruce Lee. But the real excitement begins when you realize that Lee Sahib's life itself was a mystery, like a suspense thriller movie. Bruce Lee was born in California, USA, on November 27, 1940. His mother and father were both Chinese and were living in California at that time. However, when Bruce Lee was only 3 months old, his parents moved back to China. So technically, he belonged to both America and China. Now let's talk about his health and workout. Generally, everyone believes that exercising is top tier for health, but in Bruce Lee's case, things went a bit the opposite way. It is said that Bruce Lee crossed all limits when it came to exercise. He did everything from cardio to muscle training. He also practiced yoga so that his body remained flexible. And for his super fast speed, he repeatedly practiced martial arts and karate. It is even said that over-exercising became the biggest reason for his death. In other words, the very thing that builds health became deadly for him. Friends, Bruce Lee's dedication was such that he turned his body into a machine. But such a crazy-level routine also brought along some side effects. While continuously doing such intense training, he even lost his sleep. Yes, he had no time left to sleep. And the most shocking thing was that he used to sweat so much that he got fed up and had the sweat glands of his body removed. Now think about it. If a person removes the ability to sweat, what will happen to the body's heat balance? Then what happened? One day, due to that very heat stroke, he passed away. Although there are many theories regarding his death, one thing is certain. Overtraining and pushing himself were an important part of his life, and probably of his death as well. But wait, this story does not end here. The question arises, what did he gain from such madness-filled hard work? The answer is those superpowers that for ordinary humans are just a dream. Bruce Lee trained himself so intensely that his body became like a war machine. Now take a look at this video. Here Ali Sahib is doing push-ups. If you have ever tried push-ups in your life, you know this is no easy task. But Ali Sahib made it look effortless. How? Because consistent practice is what turns difficulty into ease. Friends, you must have seen people who do push-ups balancing their entire body on just one finger and thumb of each hand. But what you are about to hear will give your brain a shock. Bruce Lee was 2 steps ahead of this level. He used to do push-ups with just one hand, and that too with such cleanliness and balance that it seemed as if gravity had no effect on his body. His body remained perfectly straight, fully under control, like a machine running smoothly. Now on the internet, you will find many videos where people try to do push-ups on the fingers of one hand. But the grace, the power, and the unbreakable balance that Bruce Lee had, no one has been able to achieve that perfection till today. Martial arts and fitness experts also say that they have never seen anyone do push-ups like Bruce Lee. He used to do one-handed push-ups calmly and comfortably, without any jerk, as if it was nothing special. Sometimes it felt like his fingers were made of steel and his body was as light as paper, as if a superhero character had entered real life. Friends, now take a look at a video that will break all the limits of your thinking. In it, a weapon called nunchaku is shown. It is usually used for self-defense, but when it comes into the hands of a legend like Bruce Lee, it becomes a superpower. Bruce Lee handled the nunchaku as if it were an extra part of his body. And the interesting thing is that he not only used it for martial arts, but even played table tennis with it. Yes, you heard that right. He played table tennis using nunchaku. In the video, on one side there is a professional-level table tennis player hitting the ball at high speed. On the other side is Bruce Lee, who returns the ball with such precision while spinning the nunchaku in his fingers that it looks like a trivial matter. And not just that, he could face 2 players at the same time using only his nunchaku. Just imagine how mind-blowing reflexes and practice are needed to pull off such a feat. Now think for yourself. A person who can play table tennis with a weapon is not just a human. He deserves to be called the god of martial arts. And this is not an exaggerated line. These are facts, legendary-level reality. Friends, when Bruce Lee spun the nunchaku in his fingers, the scene felt like a classical sitar player performing, as if a master was creating magic on the strings of his instrument. Every movement had a fine-tuning that only a true master possesses. Now let's talk about the 1-inch punch that made Bruce Lee superhuman across the world. It was a demonstration that shook not only people's perception of speed, but also the rules of physics. Look, the basic principle of physics says that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Meaning, if you push someone, you will also feel the same push backward. But Bruce Lee directly challenged this law. When he delivered a punch from just 1 inch away, the person standing in front flew backward, while Bruce Lee himself did not move even slightly from his place. Now imagine a person delivering such a strong punch from a distance of 6 inches that the opponent slides back nearly 10 feet along with a chair. For such a powerful strike, an ordinary person would need to run a couple of steps and apply extra force. But Bruce Lee did all this instantly without moving. This was not just a punch. It was an earthquake released from just a few inches away. That is why his 1-inch punch is still considered one of the most iconic techniques in martial arts. And friends, the most amazing thing is that whenever Bruce Lee performed any extreme movement like a punch or nunchaku technique, his body showed no effect of the opposing force. If it were anyone else, they would have fallen backward. But Bruce Lee absorbed that energy as if his body itself were a shock absorber. Now think, he lived only up to the age of 32, but he performed such beyond belief feats that every performance feels like a superpower. Now bring in the next legendary scene, Bruce Lee and his favorite nunchaku. Once, Bruce Lee attached sandpaper to the end of his nunchaku and then stood in front of a man who was holding a matchstick between his teeth. What did Bruce Lee do? He spun the nunchaku with lightning speed and, without touching the man's face, created friction on the matchstick with the sandpaper, causing it to ignite. This was surgical level perfection. Just think, if the matchstick had been rubbed even slightly more, it would have broken. And if the aim had missed even a little, the man's face would have been cut. But Bruce Lee executed this feat so cleanly that even the viewers were left wondering whether it was real or a special effect. Friends, if you think Bruce Lee's abilities were limited only to spinning nunchaku or throwing punches, then wait. The next feat he performed enters straight into the mind-hacking zone. Once, a scene was created where matchsticks were continuously thrown toward Bruce Lee. A normal person would dodge or try to save himself, but what did Bruce Lee do? He spun his favorite nunchaku in the air in such a way that the matchsticks ignited one after another without touching him. It looked like a movie VFX scene turned into live action. This cannot be achieved by hand strength or reflexes alone. It requires the mind to be in full master mode. Just like in the Mahabharata, when Arjuna said he could see only the eye of the bird, Bruce Lee's level of focus was so high that he saw nothing except the tips of the matchsticks. Think about it, by the age of just 32, this man achieved what most people cannot even imagine in an entire lifetime. Friends, Bruce Lee was not only the god of martial arts, but his thinking and philosophy of life were equally deep and inspiring. He often used to tell his friends and companions, "Never ask God for an easy life. If you must ask for something, ask for the passion, courage, and spirit of hard work that gives you the strength to face even the biggest troubles in life." Just hearing this gives you an idea of the depth of his personality. It is said that Bruce Lee knew more than 30 martial arts styles. Amazing, right? Yet despite having so much power and skill, he was an extremely calm and gentle person. It was as if anger did not exist within him. He believed that if a conflict or argument ever arose, one should immediately fold hands, apologize, and move forward in life. Bruce used to say that unless a fight is absolutely necessary, never start one from your side. Just always preserve within yourself the ability and confidence to fight, so that you are ready for every challenge. His words are a lesson not only for the world of martial arts, but also for living life. Bruce Lee's calm and wise attitude made his skills even more special. Friends, let us once again dive into the astonishing world of Bruce Lee's abilities that made him the uncrowned king of martial arts. There's an old video footage that describes his extraordinary strength and skill. In this footage, Bruce Lee is fighting a competitor with his eyes blindfolded. Yes, completely in darkness. Imagine, without seeing anything, he not only faces his opponent confidently, but within moments defeats him and throws him to the ground, winning the competition. Watching this scene gives you goosebumps. Bruce Lee regularly practiced fighting with his eyes blindfolded, And it was the result of this hard work and passion that this unique practice sharpened his hearing so much that he could tell the direction of an attack just by the sound of air movement. In other words, by reading the flow of air, he could counter every move of his opponent. What an incredible art this was. All of this was the result of his intense hard work, dedication, and years of practice. Seeing such ability, only one thought comes to mind. Bruce Lee was not a human. He was magic. How did you feel hearing about this practice of his? Are you also taking inspiration from his hard work and discipline to do something extraordinary? Share your thoughts in the comments and spread the magic of Bruce Lee by sharing this incredible story with your friends. Friends, every aspect of Bruce Lee's life is so inspiring that it fills the heart with passion and excitement. People who worked with him said that in his final days, Bruce Lee remained immersed in martial arts practice day and night, almost 24 hours. Imagine such passion. During his training, there were many assistants who came one after another, holding different objects like wooden boards, bags, or other items, helping Bruce practice punches and kicks. When one assistant got tired, another would step in, and Bruce continued practicing without stopping or getting tired. This was the example of his dedication. He was not only the god of martial arts, but also a successful film star. The credit for making the Chinese film industry famous worldwide goes to Bruce Lee. Even during the shooting of his films, he never stepped back from his practice. Whenever there was a break on set, he would immediately start practicing, sometimes punches, sometimes kicks, sometimes a new move. But his wife once revealed that Bruce seemed to have no relationship with sleep. He would sleep barely 1 or 2 hours at night. And astonishingly, even during that short sleep, he would wake up repeatedly and start practicing kicks and punches in the air. Seeing Bruce Lee's passion and hard work, it feels like he was not a human but a volcano, constantly eager to create something new and extraordinary. Friends, now we will talk about the final and heartbreaking moment of Bruce Lee's life that shocked the entire world. When Bruce died, during the postmortem, doctors found nothing in his body except a painkiller pill. It appeared as if he had not eaten anything for several days. It is said that on that day Bruce had a severe headache. To reduce the pain, he took a painkiller and lay down on the bed to rest. But friends, hours passed and he did not wake up. His companions became worried because Bruce Lee, who was always immersed in practice day and night, never slept for such a long time. They tried hard to wake him, shook him, called out to him, but Bruce never woke up from that sleep. He had surrendered forever at the feet of God. The man who spent his entire life practicing martial arts without stopping or getting tired now became forever calm and still. And a shocking revelation from the postmortem was that at the time of his death, his brain weighed 20% more than normal, due to abnormal swelling in his brain. This news left everyone stunned. The sudden departure of a passionate and energetic person like Bruce Lee still pierces the heart today. So friends, even though Bruce Lee's body grew stronger day by day like iron, doctors believe that such extreme physical pressure and continuous practice could not be sustained by his brain. Finally, on July 20th, 1973, this great warrior bid farewell to the world forever. More than 50 years have passed since then, but honestly, Bruce Lee's art, his focus, and his fire are still as fresh today as they were back then. No one has shown speed like his again. No one has matched his accuracy, and no one has displayed dedication like his. Every stunt and every movement of his is still like a Bible for martial arts students. It is as if he taught us that pushing beyond limits with hard work is the real superpower. Through this video, you and I together want to salute the unparalleled art of Bruce Lee. Salute to the man who achieved immortality by living just 32 years. And yes, friends, if you like this video and our hard work related to Bruce Lee, do hit the like button. Write in the comment box which Bruce Lee skill impressed you the most, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel so that next time when we bring the story of another legend, you do not miss it.